Alright, you know what time it is. The cards have been shuffled. We are going to ask our master Shifu, will you start this reading off? He's indicated these cards. They're marked by applesauce, so I am not pulling out any random cards. He does have his own. So he's gonna get his own insight. We've got the Seven of Hearts, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And let's see what's going on today. Oh geez, this is like actually a lot. This is like the prettiest deck. I just got it. The good old Barnes & Noble. So, let's see. Let me gather my thoughts. So you have been doing an amazing job with focusing on self-care. You've been nurturing that inner child. However, there's still a part of you that feels like you need to cry. And, like, you might not even know why. You just, like, feel like, dude, I really need a good cry. But, like, you have no reason to. Or do you? Okay, it's time to, like, sit down with that feeling and, like, dive into it and try to root out where it's coming from, because that feeling isn't going to go away no matter how much you're taking care of your external reality and you're doing like all of the things, all the self-care routines, you're keeping up with your lotion, your skincare routines, you're showering, brushing your teeth. Well, that's not going to root out the trauma that you've like buried for years and years and years. And I feel like this stems from like deep in your childhood, but then also like things that happen in your adulthood that you like can't shake are also triggering this wound that you have. So kind of start there if you can't figure out what the old trauma is. I mean, you probably know. You probably know from this reading. There's like something that's like, what the heck? I want to say the word niggling, and I don't think that's a word, but it's just tickling your brain a little, and you're like, no, that's not it. I'm over that. Are you? And then there's like more recent things that have really been like triggering that trauma. Like maybe you have children and you feel like you aren't taking good care of them, and that's, first of all, you're doing an amazing job, sweetie, but maybe that deep thought that like you're failing as a mother is triggering the inner childhood wound that you have where you needed somebody taking care of you. And so you're doing an amazing job taking care of your children, but it's that inner childhood wound where you're not being taken care of and you feel like you're going to cause them all this trauma. It's all like subconscious. So like you might not have these exact thoughts, or maybe you do. But try to like dive into that. Like, okay, when you think about why this thing is bothering you, it's really important to try to like nail down the specific emotion. Like anger is not anger. Anger is often sadness that you've been ignoring for decades. So think about like if you're angry or frustrated or something, think about why. And think about what is upsetting you. And then you just keep asking yourself why until you find that root cause. Thank you, buddy. So say, okay, why is this situation making me angry? What about it is making you angry? Why does that make you angry? And you're gonna realize that like you might not be angry, you're hurt, you're sad, you feel betrayed, and like all these feelings of like betrayal or like abuse that you may have suffered really has affected how you grew up into the world and how you learned how to problem solve. And maybe you were learning how to problem solve in this childhood where you didn't have the guidance that you needed. You learned how to problem solve by the people that were neglecting you. Okay, so maybe it's time to like take a step back and tap into your childhood, into that inner child, and if you can, be like, okay, what is my internal instinct? This is where you start to learn how to listen to like your spirit guides. This is what I learned a long time ago, is to get more in touch with your intuition and your spirit guides, whether they're your ancestors, whether they're angels. Listen to that voice in your head that's guiding you. That is them. And the way you connect with your guides is to connect more with yourself and with your heart. And instead of listening to the voice in your head that belongs to somebody that betrayed you and misguided you, you listen to that still small voice deep in the back of your head, and you're like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. This is what my instinct was, and I was guided this way when maybe I needed to go this way. So you're going to listen to that voice, and it's never too late to follow that. Even if it's like trauma that you sustained when you were 10 years old, you still need to go back in time, grab that child's hand, and start to guide them out of there. And you can do this by journaling. You could do this by just talking to yourself, by like just go for a walk, get outside on nature, and just kind of like don't bring music, just think. Or if music helps you think, that's fine too. But you're just gonna listen to that voice, and you're gonna think, okay, this is what I needed, and you're gonna think about, this is what I needed to hear then. And you're going to tell yourself that. And you're going to do this as many times as you need to, because grief and trauma like this, they aren't something you can heal with one hug. They're not something you can heal with like, okay, this is what you should have done. You're not going to do that one time. It's a cycle, and you're going to have to do it over and over and over and over again, because your brain has to relearn that you're safe. Another thing that's important to pay attention to is your dreams. A lot of us, maybe you've been having like reoccurring dreams, or like dreams with like the same themes, and it's really important that you like sit down and think about those dreams, think about the themes, think about how you felt in the dream, and like think about like the people that are in the dreams, the places in the dreams, and the problem that was in the dream. And maybe think about like what memory that might have triggered when you wake up, and I think that might help you nail down the specific things that like you're carrying from childhood that your brain is trying to like help your body heal from. Because if you look at this card, it fell out in the reverse, so like you might think those dreams are insane and crazy, but like if you see this card, it's all blooming flowers. It's very pretty. If you see this crow here, it's like picking out like a dead branch, and there's like a few of those branches. So maybe you need to like go back into those dreams and into your childhood and pick out like all the dead weeds and stuff that are like triggering. This is abandoned worry. This is an umbrella. But these crows, once again, crows and like vultures and stuff are very significant to this. Like the Morrigan is coming through like heavy here. See how she's like shielding herself from a blue sky? And she is trapping all of this like smoke like under the umbrella. So that's kind of what PTSD does. Is I've had a lot of like suppressed memories kind of coming through where I don't remember what happened, but I remember like the emotion comes up really strong, and that could be what's happening with you too. So 10 of balloons could be significant here. Yeah, he's very proud of that. So just like in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, you're gonna find the root of the problem, and then you're gonna ask Toodles which tool you should be using to root out that problem, and stop trapping the pain in yourself, because that's what PTSD does. That's what I'm saying, is that it like traps the memory there to try to like protect you from it, but it's just like trapping it in your body. So it's time to try to like weed that out, breathe, cry, garden. If you know, you know. I love you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to try to help you. We're in this together.